Now a Target 12 investigators exclusive out of the park.
We examined attendance data at PawSox games and found turnout at McCoy is the lowest it's been in more than 20 years.
In fact, with the 2016 season in the rearview mirror, we now know this season was the largest year-to-year decline in total attendance in the last decade.
Target 12 investigator Tim White is here now with the details and why taxpayers should care.
The Pawtucket Red Sox, beloved by many, is at the end of the day a business with an ongoing study looking into what to do with McCoy. What do these declining attendance numbers mean for the potential of investing taxpayer dollars into an improved or new stadium? America's pastime has not been Rhode Island so much as of late. Since 2005, overall attendance has been on a steady decline at McCoy Stadium in Pawtucket. Check out this graph. In 2005, more than 688,000 people packed the stands at McCoy that year, an all-time high. But year after year, the attendance steadily plummets to a low of just over 407,000 in 2016, according to data from the International Baseball League. That's a 41% drop. Some years have fewer home games, so we also looked at average game attendance and found a similar story. From a turnout of 9,500 fans a game in 05 down to just over 6,000 on average in 2016. What do you make of the decline? What's happening there?
I think it's a question that we're trying to answer, and it's the overarching question because you do have this sort of 10-year decline from the heyday.
Dan Ray is the PawSox general manager. He says baseball as a whole is competing in a saturated market with more sports and more ways for people to be entertained. But Ray says there are teams in minor league ball that are doing well.
A big part of my job and our job here is to answer that larger question of why have the numbers dropped off in the last 10 years? Why have we seen this sort of, secular decline from where we once were as a top-tier attendance team in the International League?
And the new management really alienated the fan base, and you don't expect the numbers to turn around after that.
Sam Bell of the Rhode Island Progressives has been an outspoken critic of the PawSox failed 2015 bid to build a new taxpayer-subsidized stadium in Providence. He thinks the pitch to move from Pawtucket hurt the team.
But I definitely think that didn't help. Certainly they haven't done anything proactive to turn the team around, like a good management team would.
With the Providence Stadium plan dead, the team, state, and city announced last month they hired a Missouri-based firm to examine if McCoy is still viable for the PawSox and if there should be a taxpayer investment in any renovations to the stadium and the area surrounding the ballpark.
But I don't think it's the role of the government to try to bail out businesses that aren't doing very well.
Bell says if there is a public investment, there needs to be taxpayer protections like higher payments the team makes to the state.
The question should not just be, are we going to invest? It's a publicly owned building, it's a publicly owned stadium, so if we invest, if we put more in it, we should be asking for that money back in higher lease payments.
Can you understand why some taxpayers might be reluctant at investing in the PawSox when you see numbers on the decline like this?
Yeah, I think there's a good conversation to be had about the nature of the public-private partnership. Again, the right cases, in the right circumstances, when the ballpark is right, when it's in the right location, and there is an investment made in a facility, I think you have seen across the International League and across minor league baseball really good examples of successful teams, successful ballparks. So I think in the right circumstances, it can work.
Results of that study are expected in December. Now, new at 6 o'clock, you'd expect if the PawSox are doing well, attendance would be up. But we found that's not the case. In fact, there's another factor. We'll have that for you new at 6 with the Target 12 investigators, Tim White, Eyewitness News.